Could we have a summer rally? Frank Holmes joins us, Gold Game Film on the road on his home turf, San Antonio. Frank, thanks so much for joining us.
The town of the Alamo.
Absolutely. So Frank, we were talking and you were saying we could possibly see a summer rally for gold. It's a big week for gold. We have the Fed, we have the Greece story weighing on the metal as well. Let's talk about what's happening with gold.
Well, Merrill Lynch has come out with a great report, and in that report they looked in the past 27 years, 25 out of the 27, gold has bottomed between mid-June and mid-July and goes through a big rally. So mathematically odds favor that we're in that trough period.
Interesting. So we seem to be stuck in this range right now, 1180, 1190. What would it take to break out of it, Frank?
Well, some type of an event of the rates not going to rise in the U.S. Until much later in the year, and if that happens, rates rise in Europe and they don't rise in the U.S., it'll be a dollar factor. But I think the sleeper is India, and consumption in India will continue to be robust. We were commenting about silver.
Right.
The consumption of silver is strong. I think that the GDP in India is turned, it's very constructive, and rising GDP per capita in India is very, very important.
Right, silver had a good month of May, up 3% due to demand coming out of India. Is India shifting more towards silver away from gold, Frank?
No, I don't think so. I think there's also tight demand for silver for solar panels, and there's been so many solar deals. So they're improving the crystal technology, making electrical energy much more efficient, coming from the sun, but they need a lot of silver.
All right, let's talk about the two news items that could be game changers. You mentioned that the Fed, even if we do see a rate hike in September, as most analysts are hinting, what would be the repercussions for the metal, Frank?
Well, right now it's estimated 52% believe we're going to get a rate hike. And we'll see how that unfolds. But I think what's important is it depends what the dollar does, and the inverse relationship is so important to recognize. But what happened to Europe is that we had a big rally in Europe because bonds rose in Germany, and that made the euro more attractive to the dollar. But I think that the GDP per India is important, but so is China. And every time there's bad news out of China, there's some stimulation taking place. And that's what's key to see the GDP per capita rising in those two countries because they love gold.
All right, Greece, will we see a resolution?
No, I think Greece is just totally dysfunctional. I think it'll have a reason for a spike in gold. But I think it's just only a matter of time before they leave. They just don't have the reform, like Spain. Spain's creating jobs. Spain has great PMIs because they went through a lot of reform.
Well, that's really the question. You know, first Greece, then who's next?
Well, I think it's who doesn't reform is next.
All right.
And that's the key factor.
On that note, your touchdown pass of the week, Frank?
We'll be Yellen on Wednesday and see what happens with the Team Yellen for the Fed comments regarding interest rates. I think that'll be very significant. All eyes will be fixated on her comments.
Well, I'm so happy I caught you here in San Antonio, Frank. Thanks so much.
I just really think it's fantastic here in San Antonio.
Well, we love being here, and we'll have more coverage here from the IPMI conference throughout the week. Thanks for watching.